That's Ronnie. That's Steve. That's Serge. I'm DJ. Here we talk about the Knicks and Lakers and everything in between. New faces, new places. The end of the NBA season is here. The NBA's crowned a new champion, led by a dynamic duo, SGA and
or Big Three,
the Seattle Thunder.
Me, aka Seattle Thunder. I mean, what are your thoughts on their overall accomplishment of the season? Yeah, and SGA, what he's done.
SGA put one hell of a season together. You know what I'm saying? The highest scoring average
leading scorer
of a season to also win a championship,
plus sweep the awards, postseason as well.
MVP,
Western Conference MVP, winning a championship. You know what I mean? So,
he put one hell of a season together. The playoff run wasn't as dominant as we thought. It would have been if they didn't struggle against Indiana, but it just wasn't as dominant as we thought. But they were a well-deserving champion. They proved it all season. Their supporting cast is young, thriving. Jalen Williams showed flashes of being a superstar himself. And then you got Chet. How you say his name? Chet or Chet? Chet, my boy.
No,
Chet. So he was dominant defensively at times, especially in the finals. So the only thing that you kind of consider is that there haven't been any repeat champions lately.
The last 7 years,
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to say that they're going to be a dynasty or they're going to repeat where it hasn't been happening lately. But if any team could do it, it could be them. You know
okay. Steve, what are your thoughts?
Good series, good playoff. I think we all kind of, in the back of our heads, knew that they had the greatest chance of winning it all. Had a dominant season, really good young players. They kept their energy straight through. They kind of proved that they were a real number one, not like Cleveland, And then they did hit a wall in the finals. Kind of like what you said, Ronnie, like there is gonna kind of like a what if Hallie didn't hurt himself type of deal. Would they've actually gotten this chip? But we'll never know. They got it, But thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and everything because he literally left it all on the court. And they just came up short. You wish you didn't see that in a game of that magnitude. I mean, you don't want to see it, period.
Yeah.
But especially like in the game 7,
last game,
very first quarter type of thing, like damn, like just changed the entire dynamic of the game. And shout out to Indiana because they kept it interesting. They damn near the entire game.
Yeah,
regardless. Yeah. Siakam was doing his thing, and he was the best player on the team. At times, the best player on the court. So, really, really good series. I think both teams have tremendous future ahead of them as long as everyone stays healthy.
Yep.
And it's going to look different next year. A lot of injuries in the East have brought a lot of other teams to the forefront. So, some of the best teams in the East their best players won't even be playing next year or for most of the year.
Jalen's going to be playing. Who? Jalen Brunson's going to be playing. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, with the exception of the Knicks.
Yeah, man.
So the Knicks are probably like the.
If y'all don't do so, and y'all fine.
Can we stay on topic? The Thunder continue. You know what I mean?
Hey, man. I'm not a hater.
Clearly you are.
Nah.
Yes.
I think that.
Continue.
I think that with Boston
you can't even keep a
being
straight face.
out, I think that Cleveland's not believable.
We talk about the East. We talk about the Thunder.
I think that Milwaukee, they got Dame Dollars is out. Indiana, their people's out. It's kind of like no one else left out there except the Knicks. So the Knicks have definitely got an easy little runway up to the finals.
Easy. Championships aren't easy.
That's true. That's true. That's true. The Lakers should know that.
Anyway, Serge, what did you take on the Thunder's?
I think it was
championship season.
I think to his point, it was we all knew it, but we had to see it. Granted, I still think it was a little underwhelming in terms of the playoff run. I do think that they would have beaten the Pacers regardless of if Tyrese played or not. I just think it would have looked better. Like we That's game 7. Like that was a
Mhm.
dud to me. After halftime, it was a dud. After that,
Yeah.
it wasn't even close. The game got out of hand a little bit,
In the fourth quarter.
and in the fourth quarter, and you kind of saw like the tires get deflated out of the Pacers initially. So it was just underwhelming, but I think it was expected overall.
You know, I was talking to somebody and I'm like, listen, man, I watched the video of the celebration in OKC and they were going around on that like float or whatever it is.
Mhm.
You know how, the fans are outside on the streets. I said, man, if New York, Boston, or LA had won this chip, you wouldn't even be able to drive those floats. And looking at
Especially New
OKC,
York.
it was like 10 people on the sidewalk.
Right.
Like
Small
the
city.
overhead view was like, where's everybody
Everything
at?
else, yeah.
So crazy.
I mean,
I mean,
it's
OKC.
I know.
Yeah,
man.
I
It was
mean-
just crazy.
it's cool to see that the fact that all these young dudes got to kind of win early. I'm happy for Scott Preston too, like what he's been through, like how he's building. He's validation now as a general manager.
Finally, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like final validation. He's gotten it right. So, yeah, I mean, I think they can repeat. I mean, it's honestly wide open. There's teams that are in the West Side got better. There's teams in the East that aren't so good right now. So I
And
think they have a
just-
shot.
I think
Their
they're
toughest
just-
competitors are probably out of the West.
but they're just overall a great example to us of the team you want as your champions, representing as your champions.
Well,
Like
yeah,
SGA and
Yeah,
the whole, even the interview after everybody, getting around SGA and doing all
absolutely.
that stuff, the
Praising
team
his
unity.
praising his boy,
Yeah.
Jalen, like him being like validating that he's the Robin to his situation. So
Where
like a superstar has never done that before, where they've kind of like validated their second
They've
guy.
set
So
up for the next
that was
couple of
big time.
years.
Huh? On like the biggest stage, they never like, yo, Jay Will, appreciate that. No superstar has ever done that to their sidekick.
I think they all do that.
No, not in real like when you're winning the championship. Take time out and give it a shout out to
To
them.
thank their superstar, to thank their co-partner.
Yes.
What?
so Shaq didn't do that to D Wade?
Mm-mm. Not
I
during
mean-
the presentation. Is when after the interviews are happening, right then and there, they're thinking about encompassing the team, but they're not talking about specifically their second player. That's all. They're robbing.
I mean, to me,
Nah,
it seemed pretty normal.
Jaylen Brown last year with Tatum.
I'm saying the interview, just an interview perspective. I'm saying
Okay.
that's all. But
Mm.
a shout out, yeah,
yeah,
for
their
sure.
bond is strong.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
they carry
But
it
yeah.
stronger than others. I don't think it is stronger than others, but
Yeah.
I think they just display it more.
I mean, hopefully, like,
You know what I mean?
I don't think there's gonna be any friction, but hopefully, like the media likes to stir shit up, so hopefully that doesn't get in between that. You know what I'm saying? There, whatever the chemistry that
I don't think it's a big
and their
enough
longevity.
city for it to
I know.
stir.
I'm just saying, but
yeah.
I mean,
It's
something-
going to start.
SGA
It's going to start.
It could. There's a
That's
possibility
gonna-
for it to good because SGA, if you watch closely, SGA treats them like little brothers.
Yeah.
During his interviews, he'll tell them, yo, shut up. He'll
Yeah.
son them.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
there was a dirty
it's
break.
a
He's like,
clear.
"Get over here."
It's
Alright,
me
yeah.
again.
Yeah,
There's a pecking order.
let Jalen Williams become who they supposed to
Yeah.
become. All that sunning stops. But once you get used to sunning somebody,
That's it.
so there's, of course, I'm not wishing on it because I like the
Dynamic?
duo.
Yeah.
The big three is just guys the potential to be dominant in this league.
If
So
he
I
stays healthy?
like it.
If he
Huh?
stays healthy, if Chet stays healthy.
Yeah, I'm
Or if they
I'm-
don't go to a bigger market, this team's going to be throwing money at them.
So is SGA the greatest Thunder of all time?
Yes.
You said that quickly.
Without a doubt.
Why?
He didn't. He got the chip. He, like you said, he swept every award. Leading scorer.
did he score more than Durant? Did Durant average more than 32.7? What
No, during this run, so just the run this year.
Yeah, I'm
No,
just
I'm
talking
asking.
about.
That was SGA's scoring average.
KD
Kevin
probably had
Durant's
33.
claim to fame is scoring.
Yeah,
If SGA put up more points than him, then shit. I don't know if Durant averaged more than 32
Got
points a
you
game.
right now.
I think he might have averaged 33 one year, right? When it was like his 6th scoring title in a row. But I mean, what do you think, Ronnie? As a surgeon looking it up, is he the greatest?
I don't know. Yeah, no, it don't matter. It's between him and KD. Like, you know what I mean? KD just ain't win the chip,
Mm-hmm.
but he went up against LeBron.
So what about Russ?
You know what I'm saying?
Russ,
So-
Russ is a slouch in this whole situation. triple double for the first time in how many years?
It's between them three.
I'm saying who's the greatest?
Who was the other one? Russ?
Yeah.
You got
don't
it.
say Russ.
Yeah,
You
KD
got it.
only he did 32 once, or 2013, 2014.
32 point what?
No,
Once.
32. 32.
So SGA definitely got that hands down.
Damn.
If he scores
But
more
he's
than
been at-
Kevin Durant,
He's
all
been
right.
at 29. God
Damn.
damn.
What could you say?
Nothing. You can't say nothing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he
the
didn't.
chip.
He didn't lose being 3-1 up.
I mean,
Yeah, 32, 5, and 7.
All right, so yeah, SGA is that nigga.
okay. I mean,
The,
he also
Westbrook ever scored more? It was average more than 32?
nah,
No.
hell no.
Nah.
He averaged 30 a year though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not 32.
Okay.
He wasn't going crazy like that. I mean, he also got his first signature shoe. So shout out to Shea, man, and your
Them
accomplishment
joints
this year.
is fly. I like
Hell yeah. Yeah, they
And
solid.
when he was rocking them at the end of
The gold ones?
yeah, at the,
that's
you know what I
fine.
mean? Them joints is fly. That was
Yeah.
hot. That
I
was
mean,
There's
he's
dope.
putting Converse back, huh?
That was dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
through Converse. I mean, speaking of, so now the offseason is happening. We got automatically, we got old faces and new places and all that. KD getting traded to the Rockets,
Houston.
man. What do you like? I mean, are you as Laker fans, what do you think this does?
Makes
Oh.
it interesting.
Does it make it harder? I'm saying in your route to a championship with KD going to
They
Houston?
gave they
Only
gave
if we
up
have-
some
only
they
if
gave
we
up
have
some
to face
pieces though. You know, they gave up some pieces.
yeah.
It makes it, I mean, it balances out because theoretically you make Houston stronger, but you take away Phoenix, the threat of Phoenix away. So,
But they
it's like,
haven't been a
all right.
threat though.
And they're like
But
better
there was a
off.
potential threat.
They're better offensively, but not as good defensively.
Right.
You don't think so? Eason is pretty good. That's why
I
they kept it.
don't
You
think
got
they should've
Eason
gave
and
up,
Thompson.
Dylan, right?
Yeah. I don't like giving up Dylan.
He fit that team.
I potentially would have gave up either another young piece on before I would have.
Jabari?
Yeah, because with Kevin Durant, you're a win now. You're a win
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, for sure.
So you need some veterans on there. When the playoffs come around, you're gonna need Dylan Brooks' toughness, defensive like
But they're saying Eason, the young kid Eason, I forget his first name, but they're saying he's going to step into
Tyree, something like that.
he's going to step into that role, possibly.
I don't know enough about him.
Yeah,
I've seen him
He
a
just-
little bit, but
he's like 6'8", 6'9". He just has length. He can shoot. 3D guy almost, athletic.
two of those guys though.
Yeah, not true.
Really, but
Yeah.
I mean, you got to see. I mean, he got to develop in his role, so we'll see. Serge, what are your thoughts on this whole KD
I like it. I saw them as an outlier, but
win?
the
And coming
Rockets-
into next year?
No,
Or
no,
this year?
prior
Okay,
to
okay.
no prior to landing KD.
An outlier. They finished number 2.
No, to landing KD.
Okay.
Like I didn't think KD was going to
Gotcha.
sign there.
Okay.
initially.
We were talking about it the last episode. Where did we say that he could end up going?
Did we say San Antonio?
Someone said the Spurs.
No, I thought it was San Antonio.
We said Ja, and we thought Ja would go to
Yeah.
Houston. That's what we thought.
Mhm.
Ja will go where?
We thought Ja would go to Houston because of the whole, you know what I mean, with possibly rebuild. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. But looking at the lineup, Fred Van Vliet,
Yep.
Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, KD, and Sengun. That's a solid starting 5 in the West.
Solid. It's not a
what they got off the
championship.
bench?
Jabari Smith Jr., Steven Adams, Aaron Holiday, Reed Shepard,
Reed Shepard, nice.
Jeff Green.
Steven Adams getting a little old.
Yeah,
else?
but he's a muscle.
That's it.
Oh, would he have
They
rate
missing.
that?
They
I
missing
know.
something.
Then
don't got
they
enough.
sign
Oh,
two with one
Oh yeah, the
one arm with
dude.
one arm. Hansel.
oh,
two-way
Hansel,
contract.
Emmanuel Hansel, or Hansel
Emmanuel
Emmanuel.
I'm sorry?
There's a dude with one arm. He been killing on the you know what I mean, online and shit.
He's in the NBA
He signed a 2-way
Just
contract.
with one
Just-
arm.
Yeah,
he's a kid. Like trajectory. He's been, we've been seeing his high school clips and everything. You probably seen him around.
The kid that be dunking and all that
Yeah.
with the one
yeah,
arm?
one
Yep.
arm.
Who be dribbling and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's in the NBA.
Two-way contract.
Two-way
Yeah.
contract. Rockets.
He's in the NBA.
yeah. That's a first.
This nigga made to the NBA with one arm. Eat your fucking heart out if you got two arms and you couldn't get into the NBA.
Oh,
Shame on you and your whole goddamn family.
no, don't do that.
This is unreal.
Don't do that.
This is unreal. Wait, so you telling me this dude got one arm and he's in the NBA?
I don't want to disrespect anyone.
We're not just no. We just talking about the game. We not
It's
just
amazing. And like,
That's it. It's just amazing, man.
He's right-handed, right?
It's just, huh?
He's right-handed, right?
He might be.
So he ain't got no left.
Well, you know,
Oh my gosh, man.
but this works out.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations, man.
DJ.
I'm just saying.
It's happened before.
But this works out for KD because this is a team for KD.
No.
He's not making it to the
No
Prince is the
way.
big three.
Because
You're building you got a team around him. So
they're not.
No, you need fully body parts.
This is
I'm talking about
diabolical,
KD for the
man.
Rockets.
Oh, I thought you were still talking
This
about the
man
whole.
got one
No, I'm
arm
trying
and
to
make.
switch it.
Oh,
Nah.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to. Yeah.
So on the flip side,
Nah. If one
the Phoenix Suns. On the
if
Phoenix
he
Suns.
scores on a nigga,
Yeah,
What?
it's over. He got one. He got one arm,
Yo,
man.
I'm
the
tripping.
Phoenix
Yeah,
Suns
no,
were in
no,
this
no,
trade.
no,
DJ,
no,
that's
no,
what I was
no,
The
no,
Phoenix
no,
Suns
no,
were in
trying
this
to do it.
trade, guys. The Phoenix Suns were in this trade. What does it look like? Is it time for Book to get out of there?
So let me ask you a question, DJ.
Oh boy.
You gonna let somebody beat you up with one arm?
What?
I'll just walk off the court if that happens.
No, you gonna let somebody beat you up
That
with
nigga
one arm?
ISO on me.
I mean, you never know, man.
I guess.
That's embarrassing for whoever's defending him.
Yo, can we stay
You
on
let-
top? Can
you
we
let somebody
move
beat you up
forward,
with one
guys,
arm?
please?
With one arm, you gonna let somebody beat you
Can
up
we
with one
move
arm?
forward?
That nigga even make one step past me. I'm tripping him.
Exactly.
Can we please
He
proceed
only got a right.
to get the fans what they need, please? Can we do that? Suns, what does D Book do? Does he ask for an out?
He signed that. He about to have the largest contract in NBA history. He signed that.
Yep.
Go to sleep and see what they do.
What is it? 250? What is it? What's the biggest contract?
What's the biggest contract, sir?
I got
And
you.
like, why would you have Bradley Beal, Jalen Green, and D Book?
Why? Out of all of the pieces you could have grabbed from Houston Rockets and you grabbed Jalen Green. I know Houston was trying to give up Jalen Green.
But they said he might be on the move again. But
Who,
still,
Jalen?
yeah.
Okay.
But still,
Okay.
Like,
they're,
why?
they're trying to keep Bradley because I know they were trying to trade him
He's a
before.
no trade
so
clause.
he's
Yeah.
on a 4-year, 220 mil,
What?
and is eligible for a 2-year, 150 mil extension.
2 year, 75. God damn. Shout out to
2
D
year
Book.
what?
150 mil extension.
150 for 2 years.
2 years.
God damn.
Expected to sign.
Damn.
Bro, take that money. Fuck it.
That is. I mean, there's football contracts that's not even like that.
There's none like that.
75 million. Yeah.
That's great to play basketball, bro. He does it at a high level, but damn, that's a lot. But
But
then
back
also
to-
you
back-
complete
but-
the roster.
Oh, my bad. Back to your point. Wasn't it expected for Jalen Green to be traded after this? though?
Yeah. But still, like, why
But
even bring
Phoenix
that over?
grabbing Jalen Green.
Yeah, but why?
Oh.
Yeah, to your point, why would you bring that in? Knowing that you already have almost 3 people that do the
That's
same
what I'm
fucking
saying.
thing. Jalen's just a little bit more athletic.
Unless they have plans.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then what are you
somebody
getting back
in.
from him?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
How
know.
high is his value?
Unless they
No
have plans
disrespect.
during the draft or something and they just didn't follow through. I don't know.
I mean, with the right team, he'll be straight. But
I
I
think
don't know.
I think he might be done. Like, not in terms of like
wait, who?
Jalen, in terms of like being the guy for a franchise.
the expectation
Yes.
of being the guy.
Yeah.
Is done.
To being the lead guy, I don't think that's his role.
No.
Number 2 pick,
Yeah,
draft
no, I think-
star.
Yeah.
Nah,
He's
I
probably
think
a great number
he's
2.
Role
He could be a
player.
great
Now he's
number
a
2.
role player now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
being
where I
the
would
guy-
put him at. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, when you're drafted number 2, you're thinking you're going to be the franchise changer.
True, but
Because you're not drafting a guy that high that you don't think that can change your franchise.
he might have a better career as this.
Yeah, of
role.
course. I'm just saying, but being that guy and that expectation, some people can't handle that.
Understood.
So therefore, he
Understood.
might flourish as a number 2. That's what I'm saying. He's not done career wise. I'm just saying that.
I just
what
really don't know where you
view
put
him
him
as.
though.
Huh?
Where you put him?
It just depends where you put him. You can't put him with an older team because he's already set in his ways in a sense. And I don't know where you put him. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe Phoenix is a good spot for him so he can learn under D Book.
But he's not a.
Possibly. And Bradley Beal. Maybe. In the middle of the season, see how he does and then trade him off. Maybe recoup his value.
I thought that was the plan. Was just to.
Yeah, but again, you never know. But I think you gotta get D Book out of there. What do you think about Mark Williams getting traded there after he failed the physical for you guys? He's now traded on the
I was
Phoenix Suns.
surprised about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
if you look at it from that standpoint, Jalen Green, Mark Williams, maybe they got some more young pieces. I don't know their roster like that, but
Yeah.
if you follow that trend, maybe they they rebuilding on the low, grabbing young pieces. Maybe Devin Booker's on the go. Maybe
Ball, my nigga, ball. Bring him to New York, baby.
If I'm Phoenix Suns, I ain't trying to pay Devin Booker $75 million a year.
Nah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, who's going to take that on?
Lakers.
You think so?
Devin Booker?
Oh yeah.
So then, I mean,
the
segue.
new team won't have to pay him $75 million.
Great-
He'll
exactly.
be eligible for that.
Great segue because
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves is, he's not signing his extension. He's betting on himself. You guys like that?
What?
I don't-
We could trade Austin Reeves and something and everything but Luka and LeBron and get Devin Booker. I'm with it.
Me too.
Why are you looking at me, nigga?
Listen,
Well, I was waiting for you to
you
start.
take,
No, I'm just asking.
LeBron out of the picture and just a team with Luka and Devin Booker on there,
Yeah.
and you build around them,
Mhm.
and that's a solid team. And we talking about keeping LBJ on there, and then
I'm excited.
that.
So y'all throwing Austin out already. Y'all don't trust in Austin?
No, I like Austin. I think that we
We're
got.
talking about Austin versus Devin Booker.
I'm just
Yeah.
asking a question, my nigga.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but once you got Luka, Austin became expendable.
Oh, boy,
Realistically.
y'all throwing them away already. Damn, y'all not loyal to y'all
It's
people?
not even that. It's,
It's
like
not
players?
expendable, but I'm just saying.
listen.
Sheesh.
Austin exceeded any expectations
Mhm.
walking in the door. So shout out to him. Like he did his thing.
Mhm.
He deserves to go somewhere and get paid because he earned that. Right.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, the Lakers are about winning. He's trying to get paid. There's a big difference. So
What do you think this new ownership's going to do with that being said?
I mean, the idea behind Genie selling and moving into a position where, one of these tech billionaires would take over is the idea that now the Lakers will have the support and the finance behind them that they couldn't necessarily afford at the time.
Mhm.
So it's a great possibility that the person that they sold to comes in with that attitude of by any means necessary because she's still at the helm. She just has a little more cachet. So yeah, that's totally possible. It's something that we could easily see happen. Just for the regards of this conversation about Devin Booker, you give up Austin Reeves for Devin Booker 10 times out of 10.
Okay. All right. I mean,
But Austin Reeves does deserve to get paid.
okay.
He
We're
worked
on to
his ass off.
the deep dive portion of our show. Here we're going to talk about dynamic duos. Obviously, the Celtics, Jason and Jalen won last year. Shea and J. Will won this year. Are they back, the duos? And now obviously KD signed with the Rockets. And then Thompson might be that his second guy. Are dynamic duos back? in the
I
NBA?
love dynamic duos.
Me too. I like him better than the triple threats.
Yeah, me too. But are they back? I mean, Luka and LeBron, Kyrie and AD. Who else?
You know what I mean? Cat and JB, you know what I mean?
Cat and Jalen. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you got now Katie and Maya
Tyrese
Thompson.
and Pascal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
De'Aaron Fox and Wemby.
Wemby, yeah, De'Aaron Fox, Wemby.
Damon Giannis.
Giannis and Dame
That's-
Dallas.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Yeah.
That's Damon Giannis.
They
That's
tried.
what it is.
What's the two in Orlando?
Tyrese and
Paulo France of
Paulo and
France.
France? Yeah.
Tyrese and Joel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would
Yeah.
say they're back.
Do you like it?
I like it. I like it a lot. It brings more parity to the league.
Yeah.
It's better than the triple threats because the triple threats we're starting to get antagonized for trying too hard, right? Like, oh, y'all trying too hard. It's obvious, right?
Is that KD's fault?
Is that KD's fault? I don't think it's anybody's fault necessarily because you can go through many eras of the NBA where there were triple threats, even back to like the Showtime Lakers, the Celtics back in the day. There's triple threats.
But
all
those are
over
more
the place.
organic than it is now with the player.
I don't
You know
think
what I mean?
so. I don't think
You don't
they're
think so?
just.
Okay.
I think that the smart owners and the smart teams made those things happen. They weren't as organic as we'd like to think they were, or as the NBA would have you think they were. I don't think so.
Yeah. That part.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's a fact.
Okay.
But,
So-
yeah.
What are your
So
thoughts, Ron?
to see it now
Oh.
is super dope, though. I
My
mean,
thoughts on what?
Dynamic duos.
Oh.
This nigga got an attitude on me. I'm disturbed.
it's because he's cold. He did the little attitude shiver because he's cold. We're in the dead of summer. He got a whole hoodie on. It's because he's cold. That's why. You cold, Ronnie?
Nah, I'm good money.
Yeah, you ain't cold. You cold, nigga.
I'm good money. Dynamic duos was cool. I like them. I like it. I like it. To me, it opens up the court. It opens up the team. You have your role players. Everybody has a assigned role. When there's a big three, it just clunks up everything, and then the rest of your team is not as good. This adds balance to the teams. So I like it. What's the real question? What?
No, I'm just. Do you like it? That's all.
You know, I love dynamic duos.
Okay.
Some of my like, I mean, in nostalgia, right? Some of the best teams that I like growing up didn't necessarily win a chip, but were like just really fun teams to watch. Were like dynamic duos. Like I remember like Stephon Marbury and Kevin Garnett. Like that was fun to watch.
Yeah,
Gary
Latrell,
Payton,
H2O. You know what I mean?
Gary Payton, Sean
H2O.
Kemp.
You know what I mean?
Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. That was, I mean,
Yeah, that was great.
they were one series away from a chip. You know, fun to watch.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
You know,
Yeah, Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, Shaq Kobe.
Shaq Kobe.
Yeah.
John Stockton.
wait,
Karl
you
Malone.
you would say Chris Webber and Mike Bibby?
Yeah, they were a dynamic duo. You don't think so?
That was more of a team. Like that wasn't.
That was
Yeah.
Mike
That wasn't a
Bibby and
dynamic.
Chris Webber.
You sure it wasn't Jay Will? And
That's why they traded
Chris Webber?
because he couldn't shoot.
sure it wasn't
That's why they
Vlade Divac and
Anyway,
Chris Webber?
Peja.
anyway.
Huh?
Peja was there too.
Peja?
They're- So
And
they're
what?
dynamic. Again,
Hedo?
Mike Bibby,
Hedo?
Doug
just-
Christie
y'all
and
just
Chris
haters, bro.
Webber?
I'm not supposed to use the N-word anymore, but y'all brothers are haters, dog.
Y'all
brothers.
I went the way you said brothers.
Brothers.
There was a little Hulk Hogan in there.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller. You have right.
That's a nasty duo.
I'm just saying, my nigga, that's what it was, brother. That's what it was, bro. Damn.
Yo, you flex that B and say brothers.
You had obviously.
The fun ones, like that's
Yeah.
when we, that's in the era of like NBA jams.
I was just about to say that shit. Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Word.
Exactly.
Like, that was the good times.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I think people now you have roles now. Like that third person doesn't have to press for anything. You should know your exact role, what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
for this team, and how you can contribute to the team. I
And
think so.
unfortunately, when you get a third person, right? If
Yeah.
you're getting a third guy, that third person has to fall into that role no matter what.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but I think true.
because you need that balance for a team. So at the end of the day, the third person ends up suffering. We don't.
Chris Bosh.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
get it
Kevin
as
Love.
a team. The closest it was
Ray
Golden
Allen.
State
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say Boston.
and Boston.
was a seamless.
And Boston.
Boston
Yep,
was
yep.
seamless.
Where you got to
A big
get
three.
the value of all three
Oh, yeah, yeah.
people.
Got you.
A big
Still,
three.
Ray Allen
Gotcha.
wasn't happy.
Was it what?
He wasn't happy.
At the end, right?
To his point though, something had to like he was coming off his best season
Yeah.
Mm.
ever,
He sacrificed the
Yeah.
most.
Hell
but
yeah.
it still looked good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes to his mindset. Like going from being the man to now just being almost like a Reggie Miller for that team. Like coming off screens, shooting the rock.
Funny you
opposed
said
to
that.
being the ball in your
They
hand.
tried to
the-
get Reggie
the-
to join that team. Reggie considered joining that Celtics team.
That'd be
also.
crazy. That'd have been crazy.
Yeah.
They went on the little run where they were signing older people. They had like Sam Cassell,
Stephon Marbury.
Stephon
PJ
Marbury,
PJ
Jermaine
Brown.
O'Neal.
PJ Brown, yeah.
They was.
I
They
kind of
tried.
like that. I was
They
so mad.
tried.
I hated Boston, but I kind of low key had like that.
Like, yeah, there was some people on there who's like, oh, that's my
Yeah,
guy.
kinda
I like
low-key.
him.
Before
And
the
I had
big
like
three
how
came
Boston
out,
played.
I think was it Rondo came that season or the season
No,
before?
he was there the season before.
The season before, I was a fan of Rondo.
Yeah,
Mm.
that
I
was
was
his
already
rookie
a fan
season
of Rondo, but then they came and I had
because
to,
he
like,
played with
I
Al
had to switch it.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
It was him and Al Jefferson.
Yeah, Big Al.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was nice.
Jefferson was nice.
And TA, Tony
Yep.
Allen, and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
are there any duos that come to mind that just failed when they were assembled?
Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon.
How they failed? They won a
No, they won.
championship.
They won the second one. together.
Stockton and Malone.
Clyde
They
Drexler
never
and
won.
Hakeem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they won.
they
They won in
championship.
'95. They beat the Magic.
Clyde wasn't on that team.
Yeah, he was on the second team.
Clyde was on the Houston Rockets when they won.
Yeah, the
The
second
second
team.
one.
95.
I thought he was in Portland.
Mm-mm.
The first one, I think he was.
No.
The second one, he was.
The second one?
Yeah.
No,
The
Sam
first
Ca-
one, because the first one they had Mario Ellie, Kenny Smith, Mario Ellie. I said that already. Vernon Maxwell,
Mhm.
Otis. I think Otis Thorpe was on that team, and then also Dream. That was the starting
John
five.
Stockton, Karl Malone,
Yeah, for sure.
Charles
What about
Smith,
Penny?
Charles Smith and Patrick Ewing.
Who?
Charles Smith and Patrick Ewing.
Anyway, Penny and Shaq. Was that?
I don't think they failed.
You don't
They
think
failed as in they didn't put the time in together, but they made it to a finals pretty young, like in what, their second or third year? Like,
No, that's a good point. That's a good
You
point.
wouldn't say it's a failure then? We're not. winning?
No, I wouldn't. They were super young and they were super talented.
Okay.
And they in the East wasn't light at that time. It wasn't
So
a pushover.
Failure to win a championship?
Just in general, just like
No,
a,
that's
a
what I'm
duel
saying.
that
What's
you
a failure?
thought should go all the way, but didn't happen.
You got.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
should have made a
sure.
list. It's hard to think of it.
Stockton Malone.
Anyone
sure.
else that comes to mind
Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki.
on the Mavs?
When you think about their,
They had no defense.
Really?
Neither one of them niggas.
But when you think about like where their careers ended and how great they were, like
Yeah.
a three-time MVP. He was 3-time MVP,
Two.
right?
So-
Two-time
and then
MVP.
Dirk was one.
What
Yeah.
about Steve Nash and Stoudemire? No.
they didn't fail. They just didn't win. But when
They-
that Dirk and Nash is like, when you look at Dirk and Nash and you're like,
At the
oh
end
shit,
of
they
the
used to
day.
play together. They didn't do anything together.
Nothing.
But Dirk and Nash, when you think
Well,
about
remember, I
it, they
think-
did something.
See, but
Yeah.
but also, isn't that context though? Like Dirk at that time,
They were young.
You know what I mean?
They were
Well, I
young.
mean,
I think
But they were-
Nash was
they
more
were
established.
young, but they were still doing their thing.
Yeah.
Steve Nash wasn't Steve Nash though, because remember he got
He
drafted
was-
by the Suns and he got traded from Finley, and
You
that's
know,
when he
but I'm
started
saying,
slowly
at that point, was
evolving.
he more established than Nowitzki?
They were coming up together, honestly.
He was. He was.
Not really, because he was sitting
younger.
the bench. I'm saying he was sitting the bench on Phoenix, and then he got traded from Michael Finley to the Mavericks, and they started slowly growing together. Really, they really helped each other out.
Honestly,
Should have kept him, man. That was a Mark
Yeah.
Cuban. That's a Mark Cuban field that
Yeah.
actually.
Scottie Pippen and Rasheed Wallace.
Trailblazers, yeah, no,
That was
no
more of a
disrespect.
team to me. The Portland Trailblazers.
You think so?
Yeah, that was
With
more of a
Bonzi
team.
Wells and
Yeah, that was all of that. Scotty wasn't.
Scotty was like
Yeah, he wasn't.
he was like the second best player.
He was,
Scotty was
he
nice.
was like the leader.
Yeah.
He was but he was the leader.
He was
More
6
so
rings
than-
in the locker room.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
he tried to play that. It didn't work out. I didn't like Scotty at that point.
I did. I had more respect for him then. I remember he was pissed when they lost.
Yeah, no, I was so happy because he tried to bully Kobe. Like, nah, come on.
That's competitive.
Tried.
You gotta
I
be
mean,
competitive, bro.
I was a fan back then. Nigga. I wasn't looking at it like that. I was looking at it like, yo, you going against Kobe. I hated everybody
I
that
said
went up
Clyde.
against
I
Kobe.
meant Charles Barkley and Akeem Olajuwon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Charles.
Well,
Barkley.
Charles, he was ring chasing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He was
fat.
old. Yeah, he was out of shape. That's when like he broke his kneecap or some shit that year. And
I think
it was over.
tore his hamstring or something.
Mm.
Yeah, out of the current NBA duos, who are you guys most excited about?
SGA and Jalen Williams. Besides LeBron and Luka, but LeBron's not LeBron going forward. But I really like that SGA and Jalen Williams.
I think about that. I mean, like I said, that Orlando team, I think those two might be special over there. All these injuries and everything in the East, it's not. I don't know. You have to come back to me on that one. What you think, Serge?
Best upcoming duo.
Or current duo that's established now?
I think we're like 1 or 2 trades away. Like if Giannis gets traded to a certain team, or the kid from New Orleans ends up finally,
Zion?
yeah, if Zion goes somewhere, I think that there's an opportunity to see. Like if Zion ends up in Memphis with Ja,
Zion and Jordan Poole.
Oh, they together? Yeah, he just got traded there.
who did?
Jordan Poole got traded to Pelicans for CJ McCullough.
Ain't nobody
currently-
checking for Jordan Poole.
I don't understand that one bit.
Ain't nobody checking for no Jordan
But
Poole.
the Wizards have $100 million of cap space next year.
now.
That's probably why. I don't know for what.
Yeah, it's got to make money sense somehow, some way. But for the Pelicans, why get Jordan Poole?
Yeah.
Well, you like DeJounte Murray was on the Pivot podcast, and he just talked about how the Pelicans organization is pretty shitty. So it kind of goes to show how they mishandled Zion.
DeJounte Murray?
Yeah.
He's currently on the team.
Yeah, he was talking about them and how they handled this whole Achilles situation.
He was saying that they're shitty while he's still on the team?
Yeah.
What?
He just said it. Yeah, he just said it. He wasn't saying shitty, but he's alluding to it. He's being professional about it, but he was just saying how they really didn't check up on him during this whole process of like tearing his Achilles.
Wow.
So they probably did the same thing for Zion,
Wow.
where they just neglected their assets.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So it's
And
like
he's been around the league to know.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, coming from an organization like the Spurs, where he went back, whereas you know what I'm saying. So it's like
Where was he just out before? Atlanta.
Atlanta.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like going from that culture to a different culture.
But they've always said that about New Orleans because they're owned by the Saints.
Yeah.
So they've always been a football team, a
Yeah.
football organization. They just do basketball.
Damn.
Exactly. So I mean, it's kind of a shame, but I don't know. Who do you have?
For duos, when healthy, I like Fox and Wemby.
Yeah.
But Fox,
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that.
Fox and Wemby is gonna change.
I'm waiting to
soon,
see
man.
more though.
What do you mean change? You think it's gonna be Dylan Harper?
Castle is nice.
Oh.
Dylan Harper is nice.
So
I
you
don't
think
know.
they're
And they're more on the
expendable?
timeline of a Wemby
Wemby?
than Fox is.
What about Cooper Flagg and Kyrie? Think that's gonna be a
I
good
think it'll
duo?
be Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis.
It has to
That'll
be.
be the good duo right there.
If they could develop some kind of chemistry,
He has no pressure.
huh?
Cooper has no pressure.
None.
What you mean?
You don't have
No
pressure, like a
to-
traditional number one pick. He's going into it already a semi-established. They're 2 years removed from the NBA Finals. They have
You got
superstars, Hall
all
of
the
Famers.
pressure on you, nigga.
I
I
don't
hate
think
how
so.
they say
Good
there's
team.
no
No,
pressure.
That's a
bro.
good team trying to win games.
No, that's
You
not
got
a lot of
pressure.
pressure.
Normal
You got
number one
pressure.
pick
No.
going to a situation where you don't care what happens at the end of the night. You're trying to
He can
just
seamlessly
go out there and
he
make
can
mistakes.
seamlessly- I think he can
Mistakes
seamlessly-
is going to cost you wins.
So you
And Dallas
so,
is trying to win.
So
I
we
think
say
seamless.
when we compare pressure, we say things like, "Yeah, he's got all the pressure." We're talking about like that LeBron James pressure. You trying to tell me that Cooper Flagg's coming in with that type of pressure?
That's not what he was talking about. LeBron pressure. LeBron had pressure of GOAT status. That's a different type of pressure. We're talking about regular number one pick pressure.
I don't.
Is
No,
you know
I
what
don't
mean?
think.
Like,
I don't think so.
I don't think
that's-
so,
he
man.
has it because every mistake, he has a team that's trying to win. He's not coming to a team that was a traditional lottery team that's like, oh, I just go out there, make your mistakes, and we're gonna see if you could just learn your lessons, and we're gonna think about it next year what we're gonna do. Nah, this team is built. This team had
Yes.
championship aspirations last year.
You're right. Yes, but he also has a 4-time champion there that can lead him. He has a
Who?
1-time champion that can lead him.
Who?
He has
Kyrie
Kyrie there,
and-
Kyrie there, AD's there,
Klay
et cetera,
Thompson.
to
How is
bring him
Clay
along.
gonna lead him? In what?
Locker room talk, moments.
Listen, Clay.
Clay's been
Listen,
What are you talking about?
you're a rookie going into
What
a
are
locker.
you talking about?
Locker room
Hold on.
talk.
What are you talking about?
DJ.
Chemistry is
He's
Did
everything.
a
you see
rookie.
Jason Kidd? Jason Kidd said, yo, we're going to have to put him on point guard. They have no other point guard on the team. He's
What
going to be their ball handler.
All-
Every mistake that you make
Just
is going to
because
cost you
you're
games.
getting loud doesn't mean you're right. All I'm saying is
It
team
doesn't mean I'm
chemistry is important.
Yo,
Team chemistry is
you're
important. What are
walking
you
into a
talking
team
about?
with Kyrie, Clay,
Kyrie's not gonna be
You
there.
were
No,
Kyrie's not
you're
gonna
you
be
were
there.
selling his culture.
You're walking onto a team with Kyrie, Clay, and Anthony Davis. Those guys are on the team
And champions.
and champions. Like even if they're
Jason
not on the
Kidd's
court.
there as your
So
coach.
what are you saying?
That's
When you say that, what does that mean?
No,
There's
you have
you're gonna
there's
be
a certain
expected to
level
win.
of
If
comfort.
you have a regular
Because
season
I think that there's
mishap,
gonna be more
I can put my arm
expectations
around
on
you, or
them.
you don't.
No.
Yes, what are you talking about?
You-
If I have a regular season mishap,
DJ,
I
you're
have
gonna be
champions
expected
around
to
me
win.
to build my confidence up throughout the entire season.
DJ, you're gonna be expected to win.
Again, it's not a lot of pressure, dog.
On him. Because there are so many other
That's what I'm
good
saying.
players on that team.
Everyone else is going to take that role. Kyrie's going to take that role.
We're
Clay's going
looking
to
at
take
it
that
two-
role.
We're looking at
AD's
it
gonna
two
take that
different
role.
ways. You're saying there's no pressure on him as in
Development.
as maybe we're looking at him or other people looking at him as far as, oh, okay, the wins or losses are not depending on you. But
Right.
as a team, for him, their locker room, there's a lot of pressure on him. Who's going to get Anthony Davis the ball? He doesn't get the ball himself. There's no other ball handler on the team. You're the number one pick. Our other ball handler, Kyrie, is out. We're trying to win. So hopefully
Is
when
the
Kyrie...
offseason over?
So when
Is the offseason over yet?
Huh?
You can still make moves in offseason, yes or no?
Yeah.
That's true.
So let's give it time, dog.
So, all right.
You're
so
putting
we
this,
can only
you're
go
putting,
off what
you're
we know
putting this
right
other
now.
pressure on him already. We don't even know what it is. The
because
roster's
he's
not
the
fully
number one
well done
pick.
yet. Huh?
It's just because he's the number one pick.
But
and I'm
the
going by
roster's
what
not fully-
and I'm going by what Jason Kidd said. So I'm not going by your.
But the season,
I'm going by what the coach said.
the offseason just started.
I'm going by what the coach said.
The offseason just started, dog.
So the coach said that they're going to put
All
him
I
at
said was
point
the
guard.
offseason just started. That's all I said, yes?
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
So what are we talking about?
So the coach don't know the
The
offseason
offseason just started. Moves can happen, dog.
But keep in mind,
The coach don't know that?
hold on.
Offseason happens.
The
Right?
coach
We're in
don't know
offseason.
that?
We're in
Hold on.
offseason.
Let me say something.
Yes
This
or
is this is the same kid that went in and played the Olympic team and beat him. He
Right.
played our last Olympic team, our gold medal Olympic team,
Mhm.
and beat him.
And you think that doesn't add pressure?
I think that if you're good enough to play the way that you play, I don't think it's pressure to play. I don't think there's pressure to be great when you're already great.
We're not saying how he's going to respond to it. And
No. I'm not talking
we're-
about his response. I think that he's a great player, or he has the potential to be a great player. So his skill is going to add up to what they expect. So that's like, I'm really good at what I do professionally. So like, even if you put me amongst a bunch of sharks, I'm still going to be me.
But the question,
We still
remember,
have to
is
see it though. We gotta see
the
it.
question is,
Yeah, I
compared
just-
to a regular number one pick who comes on a team who's in the lottery, who's expected to win another 15 games, does he face more pressure in that situation?
No, I think
in
he's
Dallas?
expected to win another 15 games like everybody else.
What?
I think he has
Dallas?
I think he has the same number one pick expectations as any other number one pick.
I don't. And that's crazy.
But he's coming along with, like, their locker room is never, like, you could tell just
You're
invaluable.
talking about a support system.
It's
Can he
very-
handle the pressure better? Yes, we're not talking about that. But the pressure to win games. This is the
Ronnie,
NBA
it's the-
season.
but it's
This is not
exactly
15, 20 games.
A season, 82 plus playoffs. If you're having to win. We also had injury-ridden players on the team as well, right? AD's always injured. We don't know. So championship, yes, that's on paper. That can be erased easily.
No one's
'Cause AD
choosing.
get hurt.
No one's choosing the
What are
Mavericks
you
to
saying,
win next
TJ?
season.
You're not. You keep
Are
trying
they,
to.
are they a favorite?
You keep
Are
trying
they,
to.
No.
Are they a favorite? How? What am I adding?
They're not
Let
a
me
favorite.
finish.
Realism?
Can I add? Can I speak?
Yeah, exactly. Add to what?
They're not
Okay.
a favorite. They're not a favorite.
That's
to
what
win
I'm
next year.
saying. A favorite to who? Ronnie?
You pick
Who
three
said
teams.
favorite?
You just said that.
I said they're expected to win games.
Everyone's expected to fucking win games, nigga. What the fuck? Are they not?
No, not
No?
every team.
Not
They're
every team.
expected to win a
All
lot
right,
of games.
fair enough. Everyone's not expected to win
Okay,
games.
so stop
But-
saying shit.
So
that's
when
bullshit.
everybody expects to
Most
win
of the
games,
West,
nigga.
the West is always strong in the expectations that the West will be better than the East. I'll
What does
leave
that
it
have
there.
to do with what we're talking about? West versus East. We're talking about Dallas Mavericks. Are they expected to win games? They're not a traditional lottery team where they're expected to be in the lottery against next year. No, they're playing to have a playoff position. In that case, there's pressure on you to win games. What the fuck is y'all talking about? Like, what the fuck is y'all
Everyone
talking
has
about?
fucking pressure to win games, nigga.
Oh my God.
What are we talking about? There's nothing different.
Next subject, man.
I can see if injuries play. AD's on the team, yes. He's always injured.
Always.
Gaffer's injured now.
I think
Lively
it's more.
gets it,
I
like,
think it's more
injuries
pressure on
happens.
AD than anybody
Right,
else on that
bro, come
fucking
on,
team.
exactly.
AD can't brush his
That's-
teeth.
Stop
without-
saying that. That has nothing to do with the question. We're comparing Cooper Flagg to other number one picks. AD's pressure is AD's pressure. That has nothing to do. That's exclusive to Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg has more pressure on him than another number one pick traditionally has, because he's expected to come in and lead a laden team to wins. That's more pressure than coming in and just trying to get your numbers.
I don't think
We're
he
not
has- I don't
talking
think he has to
about,
lead.
oh, is
I don't
he
think he has to
expected to
lead.
win
I don't think
championships?
he has to lead, though. That's the point.
He
doesn't have to
He
lead.
has to lead more
He
than
doesn't have to
he would
lead
have on another team.
I think our
He
argument is
doesn't
that
need
he
to lead
doesn't.
more. There's other leaders
I think
there.
our-
Do point guards lead?
No, not all of them.
Okay.
Every point guard leads.
Next subject, man.
Yes or no?
Is that not a point guard duty?
Today's NBA?
There's three leaders on that
Today's
team
NBA,
before
man.
him.
Come on, Ronnie.
There's three seasoned leaders on that team before him. He's good.
Nobody said there's no other leaders. Y'all keep trying to add other
Who's
contracts
y'all, bro?
to do that.
I said
You're saying
before
as the
him.
lead. You're saying as the leader.
Yeah.
Singular.
Yeah,
He's
you're.
a leader.
How? He's a
Dude,
rookie.
He's
That's-
a
on
point
an
guard.
established team already.
On the court, you have to lead your team. You're gonna have to put them in position. Do you even know Cooper Flagg's game? Like, he's being compared to Grant Hill. When you compare to Grant Hill, you're making decisions out there on court. I'm not saying, oh, he's the overall leader, he's gonna be telling them what to do, but you're gonna be leading as a point guard. That is part of a point guard's duty. Why are y'all trying to, like, come on, man. Next subject.
What are you saying? Not traditionally, right now, every NBA point guard is a fucking leader, and they don't lead on the court. We've seen it.
All right, so they're a bad
Multiple
point guard.
times.
They're a bad point guard.
No, they're a bad point guard.
All right, name me a good point guard that doesn't lead.
I don't know.
Name me one.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. You're making no sense, dog.
All right.
Anyway, we don't have a sneaker of the week, but kind of coming to the end of the program. Masai Ujiri just got released from the Raptors. What's next for him? What do you think is next? Does he get a job right away as a general manager? Does he wait out a year? Does he become an analyst?
Good question.
I think he waits out the Lakers' job.
Which job though? Which position? Like what job?
Rob Pelinka is president of basketball operations. We don't have a GM. Now, the thing they say about Missouri is that he has a big ego and that if he comes to a team, he wants to run everything. So there's a little bit of conflict there to become a GM because as a GM, you got somebody over you. So that's the thing. But as we were pointing out with the Lakers and organization-wise and money-wise, that's the thing. The Lakers didn't have a GM. They have one person doing two people's jobs. So that's the thing. And that's a big spot to be in. Missouri would, most likely want to be in that position. But that's a conflict right there. Other than that.
What about Pat Riley? I think it's time for him to give it up.
Dang, that's nice.
Give up the ghost.
That's similar to the Lakers thing. That's bang, bang, bang right there. I don't know how Miami is built as far as Pat Riley. All you hear is Pat Riley.
He does. I think he does both jobs as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
So.
They won't let that happen.
Miami.
For whatever reason. Huh?
Miami?
No. I can't see Pat Riley stepping down.
I think like 80.
I can't see him stepping down.
Not even the age. It's just that he doesn't have the same touch.
You're stubborn.
With the team as he used to. You know what I'm saying?
The game is passing by. It's a new generation of talent.
A lot of players have had an opportunity to go to Miami and they passed. And it's because of Pat Riley.
It's because of that body fount meter.
It's because of
the body fat bigger you run.
The knee pads. Everybody got to wear knee pads and shit. Like, come on.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. To close this out, we have the sale of the Minnesota Timberwolves for Minnesota Timberwolves and Minnesota Lynx for $1.5 billion to A-Rod, a former Hall of Famer. Is that not crazy? Like the Lakers sell for $10 billion.
Just sold two teams.
Sold two teams for 1.5. That's fucking nuts.
I was about to say that's cute.
That's crazy. The disparity in the NBA is crazy. WNBA, nigga. That's nuts.
It's crazy, right? When you compare it to the Lakers, but
wait, say those numbers again.
Hold
on. Say those numbers again.
Yeah.
When you compare it, like
hold on. Time out. Say those numbers again.
What?
Say the numbers again.
The Lakers are sold for $10 billion, and the Minnesota Lynx and Minnesota Timberwolves sold for $1.5 billion as a collective.
Together.
Yes. As a package.
A brother and sister team.
Like it was like bartered or like bargained. Like it was a bargain.
Like
deal.
throw this in.
It's
we'll
like,
give you this.
Yeah, throw in the link
for free. Damn, that's buy one get one free? Or franchises? That's crazy.
But it's not that big of a disparity.
That's crazy.
The Celtics was 6 point.
My nigga, that's even a crazy gap.
Yeah, but the Celtics to the Lakers is a crazy gap.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
so there's gaps.
That's what I'm saying. But that's crazy, dog. Is that bad for the NBA?
Nah, that just goes to show.
No, I'm just saying, just the disparity.
Like, that's great for the NBA.
Why? Why is it great? I mean, obviously the sale.
Yeah, because you get a new, probably another billionaire tech. But that's like gonna,
I could grab a team for that much and then eventually get to 10 billion. Yeah, that shows you
think
trajectory.
Small market teams can win. We always talk about this.
Well, we just had one win.
We had two in the finals.
I'm saying consistently win, I guess, at that point. If you're buying a team for 1.5
listen, all you need to do is see one win.
Yeah, have you seen who won the finals the last couple of years?
Milwaukee,
Denver. Been in the finals? It's been someone different every year.
I'm just saying, can they consistently win to build their value?
We haven't seen like the dynasties or the dominance or anything.
That's what I guess
from the larger markets.
But that's not what builds it. It's being able to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
builds it. You don't have to actually win. Some people not trying to win. They're just trying to be middle.
Yeah, it's consistency.
Okay.
You bring that money in.
All I gotta get is one round of playoffs. That's extra money.
Listen, man, a lot of these owners are like, man, if we make it to the playoffs, we're good.
Yeah,
because that's all their fans want to just go to the playoffs. Like that's
go crazy.
That threat, potentially, maybe.
Yeah, we're a playoff team.
Yeah. Okay.
Even the play-ins, like we make it to a play-in.
Crazy.
That's huge for us.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But this is Running Point. If you found this episode to be dope,
Chit.
click the link in the bio and all that. Peace.